Hello, my friends. Welcome to Doing Life Together, episode 65. It is Sonia Eckel, your host, and I want to wish you a happy new year. This is our first episode of the year, and I hope you all had awesome holidays. And I just got back from our Norwex Leadership Conference. And so, me getting back in the swing of the year, I had a lovely, lovely holiday season and absolutely loved having my two sons from college and my two sons who are still in high school and middle school all home under one roof. It was just delightful. And then we had the privilege of having cousins over for the holidays, and it was amazing. Oh my goodness. It was amazing to look at our kitchen filled with young adults and teenagers, right? And just, all these amazing humans. So anyway, I hope you were blessed with some special times as well over the holidays. And I also know that sometimes the holidays aren't always the easiest time, because it's often, for those of us who have lost people who are really special to us, it's a hard time. So I am super grateful for heart healing, because I remember those first few holidays after Shane and Mom's passing were very bittersweet, right? And so it's beautiful for my heart to be able to be in joy during this season, complete joy. So that's really special. All right. So before I jump in on tonight's topic, which is sort of just a deeper dive from my last podcast of 2024. And I just feel like it is so critically important for all of us. But before we get there, I'm going to share with you, I have a special invite. And those of you on YouTube and Facebook, I think I can share my screen over there. And Instagram, I'm going to give you a link. All right. So one thing that has been a huge blessing in my life over the, past 10 to 15 years is this idea that emotions do not have to control me. I used to feel like I just ate a salad. Like, oh my goodness, I hope I don't have lettuce in my teeth. You ever have that feeling like after you're on camera? Anyway, so carrying on. So I used to ride the roller coaster of emotions. And so if it was a good day, it was a really good day. And then if something happened that wasn't good, it really could take me out. It was almost like a gut punch when something would happen. And so I learned at some point, and I don't remember exactly when, that I am not at the mercy of my emotions. They are a beautiful thing. What would life be without emotions, right? And I get to experience them, and I get to move through them so that they don't hang on for weeks, months, years, decades, right? Now, I am doing a free workshop, and as my Doing Life Together peeps, and if you think it would be a blessing to others, please feel free to share it. It is free. It's 2.5 hours, and it is going to be on emotional healing. Like, how do you unload the baggage that tends to sometimes get stuck from past experiences, maybe traumas, all those things, and then it keeps us from playing full out, keeps us from living full out. And I would even go so far as to say it can impact our health. So if you would like to be part of this, I need you to pre-register. It is an all-in workshop, no replay. All right. So this is for those of you who want to come on, dive in, and I'll share what I've learned along the way. And you get to share what you've learned. And it's going to be so much fun. So it's January 25th, starting at 2 p.m. Central Time through 4:30 p.m. Okay. So you can adjust that for your time slot or your time zone, excuse me. But here, for those of you on Facebook and YouTube, I'll just pop that. And if you have your phone handy, you can just scan that little QR code. Or there is a short link that I did, and I think it's https:// tinyurl.com// unload the baggage. Let me just see if I got that right. So tinyurl.com/unload the baggage. Okay. So anyway, that should take you to the Zoom registration as well. So if you would like to be part of it, shoot me a message. Let me know you'll be on. I will be so excited to see you in person, because one of the things about doing life together is I get to see your comments, which I love your comments, but I don't get to see your faces. And so I'm really looking forward to that on Saturday, the 25th, if you can set aside that time. By the way, just to make sure my commenting is all working, if you can put in the comments, hey, how were your holidays? Give me a shout out in the comments, just so that I know that everything is working and I'm live where I think I'm live. So awesome. Okay. So one thing that I keep talking about, but I talk about it because it just is so evident to me. And I think back to when I was younger and then compared to today. And I feel like so many more people now are dealing with various health challenges, right? And so would you guys agree? It feels like they're more prevalent. Now, it could be just that I'm getting a few years older, and maybe it's just my peers are now experiencing this more. But I also think it's partially because of the toxic load that our bodies, like it or not, have to deal with. And it's pretty profound. I've been studying this stuff for a long time, and I will tell you, I've done previous podcasts on fluoride, for instance. I've been studying that and intentionally not choosing it for our family, filtering it out of our water and all of those things for about 2 decades. And I'm so encouraged. Oh my goodness, my heart is so happy that this is now coming into the mainstream, this conversation about why is this being put in everybody's water supply when we know it has been shown to decrease IQ in children and other things, right? We know it has some downsides. So I love that the conversations are coming more and more to the light, if you will. And it feels so good. It feels so good to finally have us talking about it. That's really how this podcast started 65 episodes ago. And it's just like, let's talk about the stuff no one wants to talk about to some degree. Let's jump in and do life together. And so a side note there, so we've got a lot of toxicity to deal with. And a lot of that is still within our control. Some isn't. Like whether or not they put fluoride in our water supply isn't directly in my control, most likely not in your control. But what is in my control is what happens in the walls of my house, where I can research and find a filter that removes the chlorine or the chloramide. So I have some control, but not endless control. And because we don't have complete control, it means that we're dealing with toxins like it or not, right? Like there's certain things that are in the world. But what we do in the 4 walls of our home matters. And it matters perhaps more. Like there was a study many years ago done that indoor air quality was actually worse. Indoor air quality was worse than outdoor air quality. And we know that there's lawn fertilizers, right? Like it's not healthy. Or I'm in Texas, right? Like we have scorpions and red-headed centipedes and tarantulas and spiders. We have all the things. And so most Texans, a lot of Texans will spray their home for critters. And so that's another thing that our body is having to deal with if we're doing that. So just all of these things, where can we move the needle easily and in a big way and not feel helpless just because of all the other stuff, right? Many of you watched my wellness series. Thank you for being part of it. I hope it blessed you. And in that wellness series, we talked about a variety of things throughout that as well. And I plan to continue bringing some of that to you all, just more interviews and things like that, because I think, again, It's just talking about this stuff is so powerful. But what we wear on our body, the clothes we wear is super important on our toxic load. And most people assume that if something is sold on the shelves of your favorite store, then certainly someone's watching out for us and it must not be too bad. And this is where I come to you with hashtag do your research. And it's so easy now. Oh my goodness, it's very easy to do research now. And it used to be a little bit more tricky to get our hands on some of this information. But it's if you go to, Google, Chat GPT, and you just ask it, and then there's many other ones, I'm sure, but you just ask it like, hey, what are some of the potentially harmful ingredients in, and then you fill in the blank. There's also cool apps that help us, all the things. But here's what I know. I used to use all the standard laundry stuff. I didn't know any better. I was raised with it. I largely chose my laundry stuff on how it smelled. And I had a perception that this one certain cocktail of smells was what clean clothes smelled like. And the reason I had that perception is I was raised with this certain cocktail. The orange bottle, the blue bottle, and then the orange box, right? So whatever your cocktail is, our sense of smell is most closely tied to memory. And many of us have some nostalgia, right? Like, oh, well, if mom used it, must be good enough, right? So I used to use all the things. And then I had a friend, and I talk about this often, but she challenged me. And you know what? It takes guts as a friend to actually have the heart to say something, right? And sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. But she knew I was very passionate about wellness, so she felt, and we had a good, close friendship, and so she felt comfortable saying this. Like, why are you using those products? I'm so shocked. And so then I started doing my research. So we know this, like our clothing, when you buy it at the store, traditionally, have you ever smelled clothes and you're like, oh, it smells like the store? Or some stores have really strong, again, I always tell you guys, watch the documentary Stink. Okay. And one thing I recently heard is that like they spray fungicides, like so things don't mold, I'm sure, in all of the transition of getting clothes where it needs to go and that sort of stuff. So one simple thing you can do is just wash your clothes before you wear them when you buy them new, maybe even once or twice, because they probably already come to you with air fresheners from the store, perhaps, or fungicides to keep fungus or bacteria from growing on them. Like, imagine that they might be potentially sprayed with stuff that you don't want to absorb into your body's largest organ, your skin, right? So number one, when you buy new clothes, just a reminder, like we should be washing it before we wear it. Sheets, same, like just wash stuff before the first use. And the second thing is your laundry soap. Soap is so critically important. And then third, the fabric softener that leaves those oils on, you absorb that right in, right? Like, and again, do your research on why this stuff is probably not something that's supporting you in your wellness journey. And I don't know any of us who are like, yeah, no, I like feeling sick and tired and drained and exhausted and, all the time. No, like none of us want to do life like that. And so what are some little hacks that we can do that can really move the needle? And I believe laundry is one of the simplest ones. You first got to get your brain around the scent though, the fragrance. Okay. So you have to, that's a bit of a high jump for a lot of our brains because we have been trained. We put plug-in things into our wall and we spray our house and we have, wax burners. Like we're constantly putting fragrance into our homes, which would be probably my number two is the fragrance things you plug in and spray. That gets into your lungs, but not just your lungs. Like that goes and coats everything. It's in your air. So, but why? Why are we so attached to fragrances? And why do we feel like it's such a hard thing to give up? Because certainly as a culture, it has become very inundated that if you don't use those, it might stink, or everything has to smell super good or whatever. So with laundry, remember that truly clean, if something's truly clean, it doesn't have a smell, which is kind of weird to wrap your brain around. But if it has a fragrance, it's actually not truly clean because it has fragrance embedded into the fiber that makes it smell. Likewise, if your house smells like a synthetic fragrance, the fragrance is embedded in the air molecules that you're breathing into your lungs, that your liver's trying its best to pull out. Your liver gets sluggish, then you can't lose weight, because it can't work stuff through. Like, it's just this thing. And I go back to my thing about what our body does to try to protect us when it brings toxins on board, to keep it away from our critical organs. It's going to tuck it away in the fat cells. So it's kind of a nice, convenient place to like pull it away from Grand Central that keeps your body running. And so when you go to lose weight, sometimes you can actually have detox symptoms, or your body is resistant to letting go of the weight. And so what you can do to that is, you got to detox your home, right? So that you don't just keep feeding the problem. Detox your food supply. I'm a huge fan of organic. I know it's not perfect. I totally know that, but I think it's better than conventional fruits, vegetables, and meats and cheeses and all of that. So if it's in your budget and if you're not sure what to buy organic, like, it is more expensive. I would say that our food bill being organic is easily double of if we bought conventional. And I also am very aware that all groceries have gotten ridiculously high, like unbelievable. I just went by the eggs and they're $8 to $9 per dozen. I was like, what is this? This is crazy for the free range, and the regular ones it's just nuts, right? So I understand food prices are high and sometimes it may not be in your budget to buy organic. So go and think, what is most important that I eat organic? And maybe start there. And you can, there's differing opinions on that. Obviously, there's a dirty dozen on veggies. Also, I do love Norwex's Fresh Wash. So if you do buy conventional fruits and vegetables, washing them well to get that biofilm off, at least as much of it as you can, is really, really helpful. And Norwex has a great product for that. So then Norwex just rolled out at the first of the year another laundry detergent for their suite of laundry detergents. And I have used Norwex detergent now for going on 16 years and have just loved it. They have a powder, they have a liquid, and then they have the laundry strips that are super easy. They all work great. The original powder did not have enzymes in it, and this is a new powder formula, and it has enzymes. And what I find about this is it is even better at removing stains without pre-treating. Because I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I totally forget to pre-treat something. And I do find that when I'm using the enzyme-based Norwex detergents, this one or the liquid, that if I don't pre-treat, those enzymes are going to go to work. It's mind-blowing. Like, you can put this in with strawberry jam and water, and it will just dissolve it. Like, it's really incredible what it does. So I wanted to let you guys know that if you are looking for some fresh laundry ideas that are going to be healthier, you get the idea of fragrance out of your head and say, actually, Truly Clean has no smell, because there's nothing left behind on the surface. There's nothing left behind in my air that I'm breathing in. There's nothing left behind in the fibers of my clothes. That's Truly Clean. And now, obviously, I do want to take a minute to say that with fragrances, there are certain fragrances that are a healthier option than others, right? Synthetic ones, there's some really very unhealthy options. And, maybe you're using high quality essential oils. I still believe that when you're breathing a lot of that in, it's maybe worth paying attention to in general. But anyway, so here's the deal. If you are not a Norwex consultant, obviously, then you guys have access to this, but you haven't tried the Norwex, this new detergent yet, and you would like me to send you a sample, just go ahead and write in the comments, Powerzyme. It's all one word. And this bag has 100 loads worth in it. So it's going to be super economical, and it's going to replace a lot of the stuff you're using in your laundry, like maybe your oxygen cleaning thing and bleach, of course, all the things. So it's just going to help make laundry a lot easier. So if you want a sample, just put Powerzyme in there, and I will watch for that. And then I will send you a sample in the mail, okay? Just so you can try it. I'll give you a free load of laundry on Sonia, but I really do think it's quite impressive. Even on whites, it's doing better, just lots of things. So I encourage you to give it a try. If you're interested, you can, or you can DM me, message me as well, and just put Powerzyme, or I'd love a Powerzyme sample or whatever, that would be fine. Awesome. Okay, wow, that time flew by today. I hope you guys are all doing well. And I'd love for you to share, if you're watching the replay or if you're on live with me right now, how about you? As you think about supporting your body in being as healthy as possible in 2025, what are some of the first things that you want to focus on? Like, just pick one. The power of one thing at a time. I'm an all-in girl. I tend to do like 10 things at a time. That's, once I make a decision, I'm like, decision made, I'm all in, I understand the why, let's go. That's my personality. I have come to realize that not everybody has that personality, right? Like, I have a brain that once I do my research and I understand what's underneath it, then it's kind of like, once you know, and I have a hard time going back once I've learned otherwise, and then I just make those pivots. So, but what if that feels overwhelming to you and you're like, I don't know where to start? I think the first thing is just making a decision, calling out something. Do you want to start by just researching the Dirty Dozen on fruits and vegetables? Maybe you know that already, right? Like, there's certain ones that you're definitely better off buying organic than conventional. Jennifer, I see you. Powerzyme, awesome. And so are you going to look at maybe this year adding a little bit more budget to the grocery bill so that you can switch over a few things to organic? Are you going to make a simple change on your laundry? Like, seriously, this is one of the most affordable changes you can make. And drop the fabric softener, drop the dryer sheets. Like, imagine how much money that saves you. And then getting a clean laundry detergent so that what you wear on your skin is going to support your health. That seems like a good idea. Yeah, what is your one thing? Another one is air fresheners. Like, seriously, you guys, I know that they're just ubiquitous with our culture. Like, everywhere you go, there's fragrances. Stores have their own fragrance. Why? Because it is your strongest memory scent. So sense. I always mix that up when I'm talking about our sense, whatever, you know what I'm saying. But it's closely tied to memory. And so stores use it, products use it to keep you coming back to that thing. But just think about what it's doing, how it's building up in your lungs, what your liver has to do with it, and all the other things, and how it can support your body. So awesome. All right. Well, I hope this blessed you all, and just watch the replay on YouTube if you want to pop in on my workshop for you guys. And then if you want a free sample, let me know. And as always, hit the like, hit the follow button. And I try to be here on Wednesdays around 7 p.m. Central, give or take, given life. And love to have you join me. So thank you for weighing in. Hi, Pete. I see you, and good to see you all. So thank you so much. Have a great week, and we'll plan to see you next week.